If you've ever had a Rhodos in Relentless come back and wipe your entire team by himself, then go ahead and smash that like button and that subscribe button down there. It really helps the channel. We appreciate you. Enjoy the video. What's up, guys? Fenyks-Gaming here with another episode of Raid Shadow Legends, and the Hydra reset is here again. So naturally, we're going to come at you with a few Hydra strategies this week that you can use with your account. Hopefully, adapt to the roster that you have. Let's get right into it. I'm going to give you a quick champ overview of the leading team that I have so far this week. Nothing insane as far as damage goes, but I'm sure some of you guys out there, some of you big brains can adapt this and maybe tune it better so that you can do more damage. First up, we have Rio Bone Spear, bringing a whole litany of debuffs on our A2. The only one that does not apply is the stun, so we're left with HP burn, decreased defense, weaken, decreased attack, and decreased crit rate. Those are all really great. Maybe the crit rate a little less so. I don't know what the natural crit rate of the Hydra heads is. Moving on to our A1, place a continuous heal buff on the ally with the lowest HP, and also places 7.5% continuous heal buff on allies with 30% HP or less. So she ends up doing a lot of healing. She also brings a big nuke heal on her A3 along with the cleanse. That is on a 3-turn cooldown. Mine is booked, I believe, all the way, and so she has that up fairly often. Next in the lineup, we're going to go to Demon Spawn. Hop on over to one of my new favorite champions, Umbral Enchantress. On her A2, she brings the block buffs, 100% chance to land so long as her accuracy is good enough. Mine is good enough. So we're checking all those boxes, and my Umbral is booked, so it's 100% chance, always going out, unless something weird that the Hydra does. And that's before the Poison Cloud is out there, because this counts as a hit before she places that block buffs. I did block out her A3, or else I would have if I were autoing it. I did manual this fight though. You don't want her A3. It doesn't work. Nothing it does works, so don't bother with it. And in fact, it'll just give them another buff to steal and lock her out of her own stuff for 5 turns. A1, just damage. Not a lot of it, so nothing really to worry about there. Another demon spawn that I brought, Drexthar, the one and only. Awesome. Brought him because of passive. 55% chance to place an HP burn debuff for 2 turns on the attacker when hit. Also has a chance to place HP burn on his A1. Not a super high chance, but good enough for government work. Gets the job done. Moving on. Oh, actually, another one there. Half this team is from Demon Spawn. Wither, the crown, because they're still not penalizing you for healing. That head's not out. So I brought a lot of heals along with another cleanse. She has an AOE attack, placing leech, helps keep the team alive if you're doing enough damage. She also brings an increased defense and activation of continuous heals. So she, paired with Riho, can do a ton of heals, especially over the course of a long fight. Last but not least, guys, is the first time I felt brave enough to bring one of these in. Counterattack champion, the Mistress of Mayhem, Martyr. If you have her, you know she's great. She's insane. Brings a counterattack for 2 turns on her A2. Decrease attack on her A3. Provoke as well, but that obviously doesn't apply. She brings a decreased defense on her A1. She brings the whole kitchen sink. And a lot of it is applicable to Hydra. So, super strong champ. Guys, we're going to try and keep this quick so you don't have to watch me talk too much. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the run. Okay, guys, and the principle of this fight, really simple. Keep your debuffs and your buffs up as often as possible. You don't really have to be terribly afraid of buffing yourself, because Geomancer is going to do an AOE decrease accuracy, and Umbral Enchantress is going to stop them from getting buffs if they do steal, even with the decreased accuracy. But a lot of the times when that decreased accuracy is up there, the Head of Mischief is not successfully stealing buffs from my team. As you can see, right out the gate, I have 3 HP burns up. Would have been on the Head of Mischief had it not been redirected, but I expected that. So, you know, no hurt feelings here. always make sure to put Geomancer's HP burn up on the Head of Wrath. That's the one on the far right. And the reason being is because the Head of Wrath does the most damage in this fight, and so you want to reflect that as well as reduce the amount that he's doing to your team overall. You can see the continuous heals are popping up very quickly. My Wither and my Riho are pretty well speeded, so they go pretty often. And if you're lucky, if I've run this a couple times testing things out, about 80% of the time, Riho would not get feared that first turn. So when that provoke from the Head of Wrath would come, Riho would basically, her passive allows her to take off one of those hard CC debuffs. She would remove the provoke and then cleanse the provoke from the rest of the team, and it was as if it never happened. Quick display of how much healing she does right there with her A3. I did unfortunately let some of the HP burns fall off here. Not a huge deal. We'll get them back up. Counterattacks have faded off, but still the enemies have not been able to put a buff on them. Right? This is a very slow damage team. Nothing crazy. We're not one-shotting anything. It's not the Trunda plus defense down plus weaken kind of comps. I just wanted to see how I would do without an AOE HP burn and a reviver in here. See how far I can make it without those two elements. So this is the team I put together. And now I'm going to go ahead and just let you watch the video, watch the run play rather, and when something interesting happens, I'll come back and I'll talk to you about it. So guys, really quick here, Geomancer got eaten by the Head of Mischief, something that I'm always trying to avoid. And heads start going down. You can see I got a pretty healthy chunk of everyone's life down. It was unfortunate that those two heads went down right there while Geomancer was inside of the Head of Mischief's stomach. But, you know, we're able to get more HP burns out and eventually clear them out of there, so the run is saved. I'll show you how that happens right now. So I just checked. After the Head of Torment went down, the Head of Suffering actually came up. Also, the Head of Wrath came back up, and the Head of Blight came back up as well. So at this point, because I can't get fears on my team, I really don't have a ton to worry about as far as, you know, doing my rotation of abilities. Those fears can't interrupt or disrupt my rotation at all. I should always have a cleanse available between Wither and Riho, so things are looking really good. That was a perfect example right there. Geomancer's A2 doing work. He pulled off the buff from the Head of Wrath on the right hand side. At least he pulled off the counter attack. He did not get that reflect damage. Either way, good on him, because that stopped, you know, unnecessary damage coming in. I was really excited here because I'm always happy when the Head of Mischief goes down, but you'll find here in just a little bit. When that Head of Mischief respawns, it is not the Head of Mischief, and that's really what makes this run through Hydra take a turn for the worse. And it was right here that I realized that the Head of Decay had come back, so I'd be penalized for healing, and my debuffs would be cleansed the very next turn. So I didn't refresh any debuffs. I wanted to let that Head of Decay use his AOE cleanse, and then I would start reapplying. It's all about timing in this fight. As you can see by my health bars here, my otherwise unhealthy team has had a good portion of their max HP destroyed by that Head of Decay, and so that was forcing me to be a little more conservative with how often I was healing and cleansing, and sometimes I would just take a poison or run a chance with a fear instead of cleansing it off immediately. The only good thing that came out of this Head of Decay was the fact that I could hit him whenever I wanted to without an issue. Coming up on a point where, because of the way the cleanses shook out, I wasn't able to do as much damage as I originally wanted to. I wanted to keep the damage on the head of, I wanted to keep the debuffs on the Head of Wrath, so I tried to keep the Head of Suffering alive, but just debuffs and counterattacks in general were bringing him down a little too fast. And what I'm talking about is that the Head of Decay, its single target cleanse always targets the head with the lowest HP, and so I tried to structure or engineer the turn so that he would cleanse from the Head of Suffering and leave the debuffs on the Head of Wrath, but it didn't quite work out. We were able to free the champion from the Head of Decay's stomach, but it's at this point that the run started falling apart. Because I didn't have a reviver here, those three going down effectively meant the run was over. But because of the just natural sustain in Wither's kit and Drexthar's gear, we were able to actually pull out another 1,000,000 damage with just these three. And we'll see how that goes. Drextar and Wither are holding on for dear life here, but that pretty much seals the deal. That Poison Cloud going out, Geomancer going down, getting swallowed by the Hydra, or getting eaten rather by the Hydra. Wither here is just delaying time. Don't even know why. Should have just ended it right here. There's no HP burns out. There's no debuffs. There's no possible mechanisms for Wither to do an appreciable amount more damage before the run came to an end. But she did a good job I think the team overall did a pretty good job. Obviously not the best, but you know, take from this just the maybe an idea for how to structure your teams. All these champions can be replaced. I mean, other than like Drexthar and Geomancer. If you bring another cleanser, Umbral's pretty key here, but there are other block buffers in the game. She has a great, the fact that she can place it 100% and keep it up effectively 100% of the time if she's speed tuned right is so good. I don't know of another champ that can do that offhand. Wither's cleanses came in clutch, but again, you can get another cleanser. You could probably run a couple of Doom Priests in here. If they're fast enough and your team is hardy enough, you could probably keep a number of those debuffs off you. Obviously, just not all of them. If you have Tuhenarak, which, obviously not a free-to-play champ, but Tuhenarak's really strong here as well. And yeah, Drexthar and Geomancer leading the way with the damage by far. Look, Geomancer's almost 5 million damage on his own. Drexthar's almost 4 million damage on his own. Everybody else really just came to supplement those two. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about the team. Drop some comments. Let me know who you would have used in some of these places. Martyr, obviously, very few replacements for her full team counterattack. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Fenyks-Gaming. Y'all take it easy.